All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah HaKodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. And as you see, this article is from New York Post. I just made a PDF of it, just to make it a little easier. It says, dozens of blind people can see, thanks to the revolutionary MOTB, man. This has never been done before, right? And as we know, the scriptures warn us of this great and evil day, or this hour of temptation that, that is in the book of the Revelation, right? It speaks about a hour of great tempting, which is what? Ultimately Esau is going to put you in straits by taking away your privileges, your liberties, so forth and so on, creating a system in which it is only accessible by ultimately bowing down into him, right? But before that is made mandatory, you're having these miracles, as the scripture says, done or being done in the sight of the beast, right? And this is one of them. It says dozens of blind people can see, thanks to the revolutionary MOTB. It says never been done before. It says finally there's a new vision for addressing the common eye condition. Dry age related macular degeneration slowly damages the macula, the part of the retina responsible for central vision. Geographic atrophy is an advanced and irreversible form of AMD that affects about 1 million Americans. Shit. So it didn't download this particular part. Nevertheless, it says in the history of artificial vision, this represents a new era. It says blind patients are actually able to have meaningful central vision restoration, which has never been done before. Matter of fact, I got that second paragraph right here. I want to read it. Oh, it comes up. Here we go. It says, this paragraph that was left out. It says, treatments have focused on slowing its progression, but haven't restored lost vision until now. Several patients in a revolutionary clinical trial regained their ability to read when they received an electronic eye implant that's paired with augmented reality glasses. All right, so it's a very important paragraph. So call on me, Abashim Shah, for allowing me to access that here. It says, several patients in a revolutionary clinical trial regained their ability to read when they received an electronic eye implant that's paired with augmented reality glasses. Right, so here it is. We always say, hey, the miracle's done. As a matter of fact, let's just grab it, Actually, before we go there, I have this precept in the book of 2 Thessalonians 2. And I'm going to start here at the 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, right? And this Esau, Edom, so-called white people, right? So-called white man, white woman, right? It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Now I want to go into this word here. It says, lying wonders, man. Because this is one of the lying wonders, right? The fact that Esau can give, pseudo miracles, ultimately restore vision. Because these are just mocked. Hey, it's 777. Call on Yahweh Shai. These are ultimately just miracles that we seen done on the right hand, which he's trying to mimic, right? So for that word lying, it's a pseudos, G5579, and it says lie, a conscience, and intentional falsehood. It says whatever is not what it seems to be. And here it is, he's telling you, oh, well, this clinical trial is giving back this amount of people back their vision. But he never tells you of the amount of people, who ended up worse, after the trial. He never tells you about the failed experiments, And trust, it's far significant. 144 right there. Call on Yahweh Shai, man. But he never tells you, about the statistics and the percentage of individuals who end up dying, who end up having health complications, so forth and so on after these procedures are being done on them, man. He only tells you about the individuals that who are a success. Oh, well, this percentage of individuals, they receive their sight back. They're able to read again with augmented glasses, right? He don't tell you the patients who heart failed on the table, right? He don't tell you about the individuals who other eye got messed up from working on the one that was already destroyed, right? It says of perverse, impious, deceitful precepts. It's a line. It says exhibited for the treacherous purpose of deceiving men. And that's what ultimately Esau is going to do when the MOTB is being established, man. He's going to let you know, hey, this is a way we could fix your life. This is a way to get your world back that you lost. You remember the time of when you and your kids were smiling, when you had your house and your dog and you could take vacations 3 days, it's like 3 times a year. Hey, well, I'm here to restore that back unto you. Not understanding that they're literally giving up, their spirit, their souls, well, not spirit, their souls, right, unto this devil, man. Because all spirits, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Yahweh is the father of spirits, right? But Esau is trying to claim ownership of those individual souls, man, right? Now, I want to also go into this word wonders, right? Also in the precept. I'm using another device for the blue letter. It says wonders, terrace. This is G5059, terrace, for the word wonder. Lion wonders, Salakia, wonders. It says a miracle performed by anyone, a prodigy or omen, a wonder. It says accordingly something so strange as to cause it to be watched or observed, right? It says a sign in the heavens. Let's see if it has anything else. That's it. It says miracle performed by anyone, right? So it says even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and we understand that's the left hand, with all power and signs and lying wonders. See, the wonders or the miracles done on the right hand side, they didn't take a right hand, or it's like a left hand power, which we understand both sides are ultimately given by Yahweh, right? Because he controls both good and evil, righteous and wickedness, or I should say good and evil, righteous, wicked, bad, good, so forth and so on, right? The Most High has perfect balance. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And here it is. And the scriptures clearly tell you, to never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, man. The scripture tells us in the book of Sirach, the 13th chapter, right? If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, right? We understand that the devil's MO is ultimately to get everyone to accept of the terms and conditions, and to stick out their hand or whatever body part, so that they can receive of these electronic implants, man. The MOTB, the CHI to the P. This technology is not supposed to be merged with man, man. They're polar opposites. Yahweh Shema Shah already gave us quote unquote software and hardware, right? Your ability to understand, to perceive, right? The brain, these are you should say that the human body is a hardware in a sense, but it's also a computer, right? The more you study, the more you learn, your brain ultimately downloads that information to a point where you're able to use it. Hey, that's why when we go back into the book of Genesis and it speaks about how the Elohim said it was good. Matter of fact, it was good, man. Matter of fact, I can read, one second. Good. Right? This is all in the book of Genesis 1. Basically speaking of every day, which was 1,000 years of creation. At every point, it was mentioned that it was good. Right? Let's go into that word good. This Genesis 1, I'll just grab, let's grab 1 and start 1 and 4, right? It says, the Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And the Elohim divided the light from the darkness, right? Going into the powers, right? Now, it says that it was good. And the word good here, oops, the word good is tawab, right? And it says good, pleasant, agreeable, pleasant to the nature, excellent of kind, appropriate, better. It says good, right, ethical, morally good, beneficial. It says prosperity, so prosperous. It says good things, bounty, beautiful, fair, favor, fine, pleasant. See if it has any more. Goodly, fair, well off, distinguished, great and excelling. Ultimately, it was imperfection, man. It was imperfection. Imperfection in the sense of, of being created exactly how it was meant to be created. It wasn't created to be altered or to be tweaked or to say, hey, I can improve this by adding some type of tech. Let's go the transhumanism route. No. The body being a machine, right, in the blueprint given unto the Elohim from Yahweh, it was a perfect creation, man. Now we understand, we're not perfect in the sense of saying we don't sin, but the body, in essence, for what it was created for, was perfect, right? We understand due to this condition, the flesh, chains of darkness, the curses that ultimately, we suffer. And also we understand that the hearts of stone will ultimately be turned into the hearts of flesh. And we won't be able to sin anymore because the law will be written in our inward parts. But still, creation at that point was good. And even now, it's perfect for the purpose of what we have it today, man. Right? But Esau saying, no, man isn't good enough. I can make you better. That's why the elders always going to Esau. He wants it to where you could download, a language in 5 seconds, for the human body to have a software update, and plug you in like a USB, man. He thinks he can create better than the creator, man. That's why the scripture says the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, man. This nigga E has a true God complex. He believes that he's better than Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The elites think they're better. How foolish do you a man upon the earth has to be? And prideful for a man upon the earth have to be to say that you can create better, than the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful, man. Omnipotence, like omniscient, right? You got to be a damn demon. Fool, he created you. He created those thoughts or those demons to fester those thoughts in your mind. That's why scripture says, but nay, thou art but a man. Right? So, to go back, I finished that in 2 Thessalonians. I want to go back to this article. It says, in the history of artificial vision, this represents a new era. Blind patients are actually able to have meaningful central vision restoration, which has never been done before. It says, credit the photovoltaic retina implant microarray. Damn, that's a mouthful. Prima system, which features a wireless ultra-thin microchip that contains 378 photovoltaic cells to replace the function of rod and cone cells damaged by AMD. Here it is. The Lord created the rod and cones, right? Which allow you to process light, the way it bends, so forth and so on, to where you actually see an image through your actual eyes. And he is like, no. See, this is the problem also with AI, man. You'll see certain videos of AI and it says, it'll be like a quote unquote new creature, right? They'll basically have a picture or a video of a new creature that doesn't really exist, and it'll have a little watermark there. But here it is. AI can only produce what Yahweh, it can only produce or combine what the Lord has already created. It's not creating anything out of how can you say it? Out of the blue. It's taking what's been given and it's altering that and combining that to create something new. But it's not really creating anything original. It's like a remix or a chopped and screwed version of a song, right? It has all these different elements of the song, but they try to make it into a quote unquote original. It'll never beat the classic. Well, that's the same with E. You'll never beat the classic, man. You can't. It's impossible. Right? So to continue, it says a surgeon implants the CHIP under the macula in a procedure that lasts less than 2 hours. It takes about a month for the eye to settle and the new CHIP to be activated. So there it is. It's not an instant healing. Hey, when Yahweh Shai, matter of fact, let's go into the blind man. Right? Yahweh Shai said the purpose of that man to be blind was not to punish him, but it was so that they can, he said that they can see the power of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Matter of fact, let's go here. This is in Mark. I know it's another one. Who did sin? Is it this man or his parents? Here we go. This is John 9. Matter of fact, I'll start at the top. It says, and as Yahweh Shai passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Yahweh Shai answered, neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of Yahweh should be made manifest in him. Right? It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So when he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed and came seeing. Right? The neighbors, therefore, hey, that was a full healing, right? That man didn't have to wait, a week, for the program to update, for the CHIP to update, and then, put on the augmented reality glasses. Now he has his vision back. No, it was a full restoration immediately. Right? Showing you the power of the right, man. He didn't have to have no waiting period. He didn't have to go sit in the waiting room. He didn't have to not drink, liquids and eat a fast for 8 hours before a procedure. No, this was a full healing, man. This was an immediate restoration, an immediate miracle, man. That's how Yahweh Bashim Shai gets down. Full healing. Right? So it says a surgeon implants the CHIP under the macula in a procedure that lasts less than 2 hours. It takes about a month for the eye to settle and the new CHIP to be activated. So you got to get two. You got to get 2 CHIPs in you just for this procedure to work. And at the cost of what? Your soul. Hey, what as the scripture says in the book of Matthew, it says, what profit if a man then gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Hey, well, what profit if a man, gains his eyesight, but God gets 2 CHIPs in him and he loses his soul, man? Here it is, you got your sight back. And even in that, what happens if an EMP hits? Now you back to one eye, man. One or no. One eye or no eyes. Right? An EMP hit. Now your CHIP malfunctioning, Hey, the Lord can have it to where the CHIP malfunctions and you seeing straight demons, man. But this is what's... Hey, the scriptures talk about when people accept the MOTB that they're going to have a grievous sore. Why? Because that technology is not supposed to be in our bodies, man. It's a foreign object. Ultimately, what happens when foreign objects enter the body, hey, your body literally fights against it. Your antibodies and white blood cells and all these different factors, try to push that device out. Because it's ultimately harming you. And on top of that, the radiation that you about to get from receiving that MOTB is going to mess a lot of people up. We already see the studies of what a phone does into the pocket. How much more putting that shit in your head, your hand, the eye. See, there's no long-term studies of somebody getting a CHIP and they're having results after 5 or 10 years. Right? Who knows how this technology is going to mess up the brain waves, man? The pattern of thinking. All these different things are going to be altered the more that tech sits in your body. Right? This is what happens when E is ruling. Complete lawlessness. He's like the nigga Sid off of Toy Story. Just destroying things because he feels he can make a better toy. Right? It says the patient is then given a handheld computer. So here it is. You need 2 CHIPs in you. You need AI glasses. You need a PSP in your pocket. Right? It says the patient is then given a handheld computer and AR glasses with a mini camera and an infrared projector. The camera captures the person's surroundings. The visual data is sent to the pocket computer, which is translated into the infrared light pattern. So here it is. You got to carry 3 phones, your wallet, your keys, and whatever else on top of that, right? It says the visual data is sent to the pocket computer, which translates it into an infrared light pattern. The projector beams this pattern to the chip, where it's converted into electrical current that stimulates the remaining healthy neurons of the retina. And this is why E is a problem, because the Lord has already created the process of that in our bodies. Well, instead of giving these people the CHIP for their sight back, how about you create an environment that's healthier so people ain't losing their damn sight? See, this devil also has the technology in a sense of medicine, and that's what I mean, the herbs, so forth and so on, to actually help people with sight loss, right? They have the opportunity to do right, but the scripture says, "Hey, he that is evil unto himself, to whom will he do good?" Right? He was just made to be profane, to be opposing of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It says the brain interprets the new electrical patterns as visual information. Patients spend several months working with these signals so they can start reading. Again, so they're not even really seeing, with the actual eye, man. They're seeing through a screen and reading electrical patterns. It says the European trial involved 38 patients who lost their central sight in at least one eye. They had limited peripheral vision. In the end, 84% of participants were able to read letters, numbers, and words, even 5 lines of a vision chart. It says before receiving the implant, it was like having 2 black discs in my eye, with the outside distorted. There was no pain during the operations, but you're still aware of what's happening. It's a new way of looking through your eyes, and it was dead exciting when I began seeing a letter. Once an avid bookworm, and this is how they're going to get people. Well, your grandpa, your grandma, they would love to see your face again. Hey, they would love to walk again. Would you not love to walk in a park, stroll through a field of lilies with your great grandma again? People would be like, yeah, I would love to do that with my great grandma. Right? Now, next thing you know, your great grandma got to eat a missile, man. Because y'all done forced her into getting this procedure, man. But this is where we're at, right? This is where we're at, man. Let's get to the meat. Back in Revelation 13, it's like not back in, but we're in it. Revelation 13, and I'm gonna start here at the point. It says, and deceived them, 13, 14. It says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. Right? And these are the miracles being done in the sight of the beast, man. Right? The ability to get sight back. The ability to get mobility back in your limbs, right? And to take a person that was once paralyzed and to hook him up to apparatus to now he could tiptoe, right? This is what Esau is doing, man. And people don't understand the wiles, the metaria of the devil, man. They just look at it as a bonus, but don't understand this is all set up to control you. The MOTB system is here to control you, man. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Those that receive of it are going to be destroyed. Thus saith the scriptures, man. He's going to take everything away from you to the point where you're on your knees begging for your old life back. And people are going to give in, man. This is why it's so important to be in the hedge of Yahweh Shema Shai and to fight, man. Fight. And not physical. This is a spiritual fight. It says, 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And we understand that the idol is now living. It's speaking, right? Before, when you take a look at the account of Bel and the dragon, you know, it's just clay. The idol is still fake, but now it's able to give answers. It's able to answer prompts. It's able to speak. It's able to give advice. And ultimately, it's going to be seen as a god. In a time where people are going to be looking for answers, he is going to allow certain individuals to get on AI platforms and ask questions. You see AI Jesus, right? So this is where we're at, though. It's all downhill from here. As we have continuously been saying, 2026 is going to be one hell of a year, man. It's going to be one hell of a year, right? It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And what are some of the philosophies or facets of life from the image of the beast? The Food and Drug Administration, the pharmaceutical industry, right? Right? How can you say it? Hollywood industry, right? Every facet of life in which Esau controls and he puts his mark on it and his wickedness involved, man. Education, right? Aviation, agriculture. He controls all these different facets, right? And he poisons them, repackages them, and then pushes them out to you. And you sit there and you enjoy it because you know not any better, man. And ultimately, you loving this world is going to get you destroyed. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Oh, you don't believe in the Mo agenda? Or you don't believe in the alphabet gang? Or you don't believe that a man is a man? It's like a woman can be a man and a man can be a woman? Or you don't believe in our new technocracy system? You don't believe that the JOOs are the true what you call it? Can't even say it, man, because we know it's BS. Or you don't believe that the ones in the land are the true people of God? You're opposing that idea? Well, guess what? It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, and causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Go into that word, mark, man, just press it. Go into charagma, charax, graphos, right? It's the physical device that's going to be implanted within the flesh of individuals, right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Chi Psi stigma. And when you go into that word stigma, it gives even more information on how this physical device, this implantable device, you receiving that, how you receiving is ultimately you pledging your leadership and giving ownership of yourself unto the devil, man. A scar of service and recognition, ownership. So that's the point, man. These people are just looking at these, right? And this is how they get you. These are elderly patients who were no longer able to read, write, or recognize faces due to lost vision. They couldn't even see the vision chart before. They've gone from being in darkness to being able to start using their vision again. And studies have shown that reading is one of the things patients with progressive vision loss miss most. And that's how they get you. Tapping into them heartstrings. But don't give in, man. We're at the end. So stay locked in, stay praying, stay fasting, do the things that you need to do in order to get spiritually stronger, strengthened. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah HaKodash. And double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.